Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. We do not, brothers and sisters, intend for this to be long. We want to, brothers and sisters, bring this out to the people for reason and edification purposes. We call this one here, Don't Let Haters Impress You. And by that, what we mean is believe in yourself. And of course, above that, believe in your maker. Now, if you know good and well, brothers and sisters, family, immediate and extended, that you're doing something and what you're doing is not bad, is not corrupt, is not crooked, is not lascivious or so forth, do not allow those who do not see your vision, who do not believe in what you're doing, have an impression upon you. Now, of course, everyone is not going to agree with and want to do the same exact thing, such as life. But brothers and sisters, at the same token, we want to point out that sadly, there are and will be haters in this earth. These are people, brothers and sisters, who may not have the concept and the understanding of where he or she wants to go. So I was trying to get this done previously, about say 2 days ago, didn't work out its best. So before I head out from the office, I want to sit there and get this accomplished, giving honor and praise unto the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. We're going to start, brothers and sisters, in this manner, and we're going to start with the PowerPoint, if we will, right? From the beginning. Asking you all to comment, like, and subscribe. I understand it's about 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so may not be a lot of people currently on, people traveling here and there, arresting here and there, and so forth. So be it. But if you watch it later, please leave a comment. Shalom, Israel. A message for one and all. Shalom. Giving honor to the Creator of heaven and earth. We hope you all are well and will be better. We will, in this short presentation, explain to not let haters, quote, get to you. Now, what you're seeing right there are 2 books a brother wrote. It is called From Assyria to America, and the other one is called From Assyria to America, Part 2. All right? This one you see here on the left-hand side, and this one here on the right-hand side are both the same price of $20 until September 24th coming up. Then the price of the one on the left-hand side will change to $30. You can get these books on BarnesandNoble.com by typing in the title, or by Amazon.com by doing the same. Now, why do I point out the work of brothers done? Some people might say you talk about your stuff too much. We are the children of the Most High God. There are whole chapters and parts of chapters in the scriptures that speak upon the work of the Most High. He speaks about it, his prophets and the people who praise him speak about it. So while we know not to praise ourselves and let others do it, there's nothing wrong with letting people know what you've accomplished. You're not coming off as saying mine is better than yours, but rather a brother takes other people's books, such as Rudolph Windsor's book, From Babylon to Timbuktu, is where I got the spiritual concept to even name it From Assyria to America. Shalom, brother Yirmiyahu. Shalom, Morah Batsheba. If you can hear me, if you in good spirits, please type in the number 4. If you can hear me and you in good spirits, please type in the number 4. So, brothers and sisters, and wanting to speak upon this matter, and so forth. You can get these books on barnesandnobles.com or on amazon.com. Again, this is called Don't Let Haters Impress You. Let me give you an example. I'm not a hater of a person who is into, and just using this as an example, having recently changed my diet, right? My favorite vegetable is broccoli and spinach. I'm not going to hate on someone who likes kale, turnips, eggplant, cabbage. I just found out last month or so that purple/red cabbage exists. I used to see it in the store and just walk right by it. Oh, that's a certain kind of lettuce. But after the situation of a brother feeling sick and changing one's diet, I learned a lot more about vegetables and so forth. That's no knock on my mother. She used to sit there and make all kinds of healthy stuff. I was just about, oh, let me eat. I didn't even know what it was of all the names per se. Let me go outside to play when she was cooking, and let me come in and after washing my hands, because you had to wash your hands before you eat at the table. And in some cases, you had to wash your whole self. You understand? But so what am I saying? If a person in diet, if a person has not high sugar that caused me to go to the hospital, I'm not going to hate on that. I'm not going to sit there and say, you think you're a goody two-shoe because you're healthier. You think you're all that because you never had to sit there and deal with having to take insulin, which I take natural insulin, by the way. So this is not to get too personal, but just wanted to point this out. That's the spirit of a hater. You think you all that. Don't let the people, don't let that impress you. Don't let that have, as they say, rent space in your head. Don't let the people who don't see himself or herself as an author tell you that you should not be. Israel has actually stated, and not all Israel, brother has 5 history books, 1 theology books, and he did 3 Hebrew books with his lady and 6 on his own. In the writing of many books, there's no end. That quote that you made in misunderstanding in the book of Ecclesiastes says, in the writing of many books, there's no end, and much studies of weariness to the flesh. The Tanakh, the so-called Old Testament, has 39 books. A brother has written less than 20. So how is it that if a brother has written less than 20 books and the Tanakh has 39 books, but we are expected, and in certain cases with the Torah required, to read it, then how can the books that a brother write be equivalent to what Ecclesiastes is talking about? You know how? Because that's the spirit of the hater. That's how that is. I remember an instance where a person went back and forth with me online for, say, 3 or so or 4 days, right? And come to find out, the person was sending messages to other people to try to send me an inbox or a friend request so they can quote and join the debate. Come to find out at the end, when I said, brother, did you sit there looking at the common friends? Did you sit there and ask this person to send that? Well, yeah, sounding maybe a fool. No disrespect and send it. Maybe he bought your book and want a refund. Hater. Right there. My books was not in discussion those 3 or 4 or so days we discussed it. But in the back of that person's mind, no disrespect intended, not seeing himself with his face on a book, is okay with just Facebook, is on some hating stuff. A case of another point. When anytime, and this is not to be gender biased or so, anytime a man has to compare himself to another man, that's bad. As in to say, I'm better than this man. Case in point, how many jobs you got? What do you mean how many jobs I got? Because, I got, this amount of jobs. Like, that's just ridiculous. You understand? I'm not from the schools of 1 West 125th Street or so. But I remember one time those guys were teaching on, like, Times Square area in New York. And what wound up happening is some males walked up and was like, I got this and I got that. What do you got? Oh, these dudes ain't got no money. Hold on. Who is looking as a man to another man saying he ain't got no money? If anything, no disrespect, women look to see how you keep your shoes up. Women look to see how you keep your appearance up. Women look to see how you dress, how you carry yourself, how your lingo is, how your grooming is, how your shoes and your teeth are. Women look at that to sit there and assess a man. But when a man is saying about another man, he look like he ain't got no money, you know that is the spirit of the hater in that case. There's another word for those kind of men, but we're going to keep the language clean on the channels. Solomon talked about that. Those kind of men that scrape with their feet and point with their fingers. You don't pick your feet up and walk as a man. That kind of spirit. Not good. All right? So, again, don't let haters impress you. Don't let them have rent space in your head when they don't support a dime, dollar, or 20 into anything you're about. Be it a verbal dime, a physical dime, about advice, which sometimes is worth more than money. So just let that be known and be the case, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. This is a book to come out, Creator willing, next year. From Assyria to America, Part 3. So as you see, there's Part 1 here on the left side, Part 2 on the right side. And I already have basically the table of contents on what I want to use, say, for Part 3. Now, you're going to have those that support, and you're going to have those that hate. It comes with the territory. You understand? But we don't want to be known as that. And there's different kinds of supporting. If you're not into history, then maybe you may not want to read the book a brother wrote. But you may know somebody who is and say, you know what? That book could be for you. It ain't really my thing, but you may like it. The next book, Love Not Sleep, Least Thou Come to Poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt have bread in plenty. We went over this on the channel on this past Sabbath. And no disrespect to Israel, where we kind of like messed up is we mostly meet on the day we told to do no work for some time. So in meeting up mainly on the day you don't work, then what do we expect to happen as the years go on? So we gotta put that time in for one another. Brother, sister, sister, brother, man, woman, woman, man, and make ourselves accountable and stop playing games with each other. So shout out to the people, Bayith Mazan, who made this cover as well. Yeah, as the other two covers that this as well. But I'm just wanted to point that out. Let's go on and close out, family. To be released next year. She also made from Bayith Mazan this cover here. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Do you know in the Hebrew where it says mean men, it uses the word men of darkness, and it is not talking about complexion. It's talking about a dark spirit. It's talking about people who just sit around and have nothing, but like Proverbs already stated, they don't get any rest unless they cause some to fall. They like to make problems and then sit there and hide their hands like I don't know what's going on kind of spirit. They like instigating drama. Those are the spirit of the hater. You understand? That's something we don't want to be, nor do we want that around. See, thou a man diligent in his business. You see somebody is about what he or she is doing, don't sit there and try to put stumbling blocks. I remember when I was dealing in college, right? And I would be at the slower part of the job time reading books or whatever. And a said coworker would come over and just want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Don't you see I'm reading right now? That's not done by accident. The person is coming around wanting to keep on talking to be a hindrance. Recently, I had a, you may want to say, quote, debate with some people into the Kemetic thing or the Egyptian thing. And sidebar, Israel, the reason why a lot of those things lead to sometimes curses and arguments is because we, who say we Israel, we say we are the lineal descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. These guys are not saying that of themselves. They're not saying they come from the line of the Ramessids, of those pharaohs, the Thutmosids, the Amenophids, the Amenahats of Egypt. They're not saying that. They claim, quote, Egypt science, not Egypt nationality and pedigree and ethnicity. So while we are claiming that's our nationality, they're claiming a science. So here you got one claiming science of a people, while not being a people, which a science of a people really can only work for that people, but that's a whole other subject. And then you got us as Israel saying we are the lineal descendants of the 12 tribes. They're not saying they come from the line of Semitawi people. Semitawi in Egyptian meaning the unity of the two lands. That's why those arguments, or that's why those discussions lead to arguments and they go nowhere. Because each party is coming in with a different ruach or spirit. Can you prove those people in the Bible existed? And then the response back is, yeah, because their children is evidence of them. Just as much to a certain extent, people know Socrates through his students. For those who do know that. You are evidence of your parents. So I remember asking, brother, if they were to take the people who were the heroes of a society and put them in a museum as a display of evidence of existence, how will they feel? Nobody would like that, neither did the ancient Egyptians. So I don't want to get sidetracked, but you best believe while Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. York, and all these other people of the past were bashing the Bible, bashing the Torah, bashing the understanding of us being Israel, was going hard since the 1970s, into the 80s and into the 90s. And then when we respond back, it's, oh gosh, Israel, what you doing that for? We all what? No. We are responding. We're not trying to castigate any other society. You are trying to sit there and hide the fact that though Israel don't need it, that the Meneptah Stela spoke of the Israelites. We didn't need that. That was found by, correct me if I'm wrong, Flinders Petrie in 1896. But we were already saying we were Israel since the days of during the timing of slavery. Before that. So it's not like we need an Egyptian monument for our evidence. So because we claim Be'er Sheba and Hebron and Jerusalem and those lands there, we don't want the land of Mizraim or Egypt. We want our own land back. And so you got people that are in the land of Yisrael themselves that are laying claim to being of the children of Yisrael, online and offline. So to my Kemetic family, extended in that manner, if Egypt is yours, you may want to go and speak to the people of the United Arabian Republic. Because debating with, quote, black Hebrew Israelites, which we don't call ourselves that, by the way, online, is not going to get you that pyramid. We can't give you that pyramid, bruh. That tomb, to be able to just go on top of the Sphinx and do what you do, we can't give you that permission. So what you arguing with us for is because you could care less about the people of such. And you ain't never expect the children of Israel to respond back. That's what it was. That is the spirit of the hater. So, in a nutshell, what wound up happening with that quote conversation, right? You got into my inbox and wanted to continue the convo. See, when we read 6 days, you shall labor and do all your work. But if you, as a man, no disrespect, are not into getting things accomplished, you got too much time on your hands. So you have that time, like the quote unquote statement of the idle mind is the devil's workshop. You got that time to sit in and just be devious. A productive mind don't have the time to be devious. They don't have that too much time on their hands to just sit back and just contrive ideas like, yeah, I'm going to be mischievous. Because they're too busy trying to maintain their bills. They're too busy trying to maintain their union with his or her spouse. They're too busy trying to maintain their sanity while trying to make it in this crazy world. Next part, and we're going to close out. Let it be brought to the people, and let none of you devise evil against his brother in your heart. Drop it. Zechariah 7 verse 10. Brothers and sisters, that concludes that particular matter. Just wanted to go over that real quick with the time allotted. And like I said, I'm in the office, not far from where I work at, or actually where I work at actually, on the other side. But just wanted to, brothers and sisters, drop that in that particular realm. Giving honor and praise to the Creator, maker of heaven and earth. If I can be heard and people in good spirits, please type in the number 4. If people can hear me well and you're in good spirits, please type in the number 4. And I appreciate that. More about Sheba. I appreciate that. My brother Yirmiyahu. And brothers and sisters, I want to give due respect on a human level to my lady Sarai and to the extended family. May the Most High continue to be with and strengthen us. Thank you for that. And stay tuned because we intend at 10 p.m. on the channels, not More Yeshaya Torah lessons, but More Yeshaya history lessons and More Yeshaya history lessons 2. We intend to go over a presentation in history, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channels. Peace. Have an excellent evening, family. Shalom.